Okay, thank you for the opportunity to talk about the immersion trips made and sponsored by the Maryknoll Society to the Lakota lands of South Dakota today. We are on the verge right now, on the eve of the third immersion trip organized by Deacon Dennis Hawley, a member of the Mission Formation Team ministry, and facilitated by Professor Gary Cheeseman, professor on the faculty of the University of South Dakota in Vermilion, South Dakota, and also assisted by Deacon Dennis Davis of the Sioux Falls, South Dakota Diocese, who the three accompanied us on the two previous trips and will participate in this third trip, about to begin in a couple of weeks, the end of this month of June, for the 2024 trip. I would like to begin by reading a prayer written by one of the participants on the 2023 trip, Ed Dugrenier. He's a Maryknoll affiliate from Albany, New York. And it's called All Our Relatives. Many steps away, the familiar four winds summons to come to the home of the Lakota, a landscape vast, spirit-full, in forever embrace of cloud and sky, kissed by awesome beauty, as by implacable wound. Come with gentle gaze, greet her people. Faces and reflections of courage, counsel, care, constancy, vision, likeness of all that is made of holy mystery. Acquainted with great joy and great suffering, come with sage blessing, walk one to another the feathers vain, a pathway on the journey to truth and healing. Listen to these stories. Taste of Lakota history, present in their culture, their wisdom, and their tongue. Stand with their pain, their grief, and deny not your own. These are the quills of compassion, of transformation. In the breathing of all the created, come, held close by prayer, in the shadow of sacred arbor, be unity in being, in freedom, in heart, in promise, into quiet handshake, gift your voice. Mitakuyi Yasin Aho. This was written by Ed Dugrenier of Albany, New York, and a Maryknoll affiliate, who made this second trip in 2023. And now the global context for this kind of immersion trip builds on the success and learnings of the previous year's positive experience of the Lakota lands, organized and executed by our mission formation programs of the Maryknoll team of ministry team, and under the organization of Deacon Dennis Hawley, ably assisted by South Dakota-based professor at the University of South Dakota in Vermilion, Gary Cheeseman, and also assisted by Deacon Dennis Davis of the Sioux Falls, South Dakota Diocese. The 2023 trip was held on the first anniversary of Pope Francis' visit to the sites of the infamous residential schools in Canada. In the aftermath of the Vatican's decision to rescind the doctrine of discovery based on papal bulls dating back to the 15th century and codified into civil law in both the United States and Canada. That visit resulted in the initial stage of a promotion of an unfinished project of social and religious reconciliation. So that is more or less the background and the context to these immersion experienced in the trips into the Lakota culture and the Lakota hospitality of people there. I've written some extensive reflections on the meaning of the trip, highlighting some of the places we visited during the 8-day trip from eastern South Dakota to western, and the return to the town of Vermilion, and where we participated in the Sweat Lodge ceremony in Vermilion at a ceremonial site there. Also, last year's trip, or the trip in 2024, included an opportunity to witness the Sundance ceremony there in Vermilion with dancers from all over the Lakota world, and also in different indigenous groups practiced the Sundance. At the Sundance, Professor Cheeseman gifted me with a walking stick that he himself owned, and that walking stick is a great symbolic reminder of the significance of the Sundance. As you know, the Sundance had been prohibited in the United States, but still was practiced by many indigenous groups. So on this journey, some of the highlights of the journey included time at the cemetery at the site of the massacre of Lakota people in 1890 at what is known as Wounded Knee. And I take, this is my own interpretation, but a very important book was written by an indigenous leader at the University of Southern California. It was called The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee. So the heartbeat of Wounded Knee signifies the resurgence of indigenous identity and culture and spirituality in the aftermath of Wounded Knee in 1890. And that overall frame of reference is for me an ongoing opportunity to reflect. So I have this text of an evaluation of the trip that has been made the last 2 years and will be made part of the journey in this year, 2025 in the latter part of this month of June. That will go from the east of South Dakota through all of the Pine Ridge Reservation, stopping at different sites and seeing many of those. So I will try to bring together some of the highlights of the trip that culminates in a deeper appreciation of the spiritual legacy of the people of the Lakota Nation throughout South Dakota. All of this is part of what the social anthropologist William Frewer calls the heartbeat of Wounded Knee. For those going on the trip at any time, we experience in different moments in all of the places that we go from the east of South Dakota into Wyoming to the Devil's Towers area there, and to experience and to appreciate again the richness of Indigenous cultures. And for me, one of the highlights of the 2023 experience was to be gifted with the star blanket. And this is a photocopy of what they gifted me at the Sweat Lodge at the conclusion of that 2023 trip. And an explanation of the rich symbolism of the star blanket that we see at different moments during the trip, and with the people we meet along the way, people who are all part of the heartbeat of Wounded Knee. So those sacred sites, beginning at Wounded Knee, going to different areas of the country, and ending up at the Bear Mountain area, which is kind of a national or state park in South Dakota. And all of the places visited and the people that we meet along the way all embody the heartbeat of Wounded Knee and the legacy of the culture and the people and the spirituality that they carry forward on all of the different sites. One of the places we visit on the Missouri River, there is the statue dedicated to the Indigenous woman. It's a towering example, again, of how people have recovered their heritage and history and carry it forward in so many varied ways today. And the dialogue that we have on the trip with Indigenous leaders and at the Red Cloud Mission and many other sites along the way communicate to us the richness of the legacy of the Lakota people and all Indigenous peoples. I explain a little bit my own journey and history. I'm from the state of Montana. We have 6 reservations in Montana. The Crow, the Blackfoot, the Flathead, and many other many other historical experiences that have helped me to shed light on the purpose and the meaning of our immersion experiences. And the hope is that we will continue to deepen our identification with Indigenous people, not only in Latin America. I lived and worked among the Aymara and Quechua people in Peru and Bolivia, but know of other Indigenous people, the Mapuche in Chile and Argentina, as well as the people in Central America, in Guatemala and Mexico, having experienced that heritage. And now, in my latter years, to come full circle back to my roots in Montana and throughout the Mountain West that have been nourished by this legacy.